Two 13.3s side by side, 26.6 inches of e-ink glory. Let's check it out. For this comparison, we're not going to show everything the Max 3 can do because it can do a lot more than the Fujitsu. This is a tablet with an e-ink screen on it. This is a note-taking tablet. All it basically does is do notes. You can do some scheduling stuff, but there's really just notes and PDFs on this guy. This has completely everything. It has speakers, it's a secondary monitor, you can go on Facebook, you can watch videos. The sky's the limit on this. So we're just gonna dive into the note-taking experience and show you guys what these really can do. Starting with the Fujitsu A4, we have a very nice pen. It has to be charged, and it does have a carbon nib. This is actually one of the greatest pens on the market in terms of writing feel. That, in correlation to the screen, you actually get the best writing feel out of any device on the Fujitsu line of devices. Yes, this is using the Sony DPT hardware as their base, and we have reported that the Sony DPT is consistently #1 in writing feel, and we stand by that with the Fujitsu as well because the hardware is relatively unchanged. Tapping in the center, you get some things to change up top, blue and red respectively. You get some line thicknesses and you get the eraser size. Now this doesn't have pressure sensitivity like the Onyx, but you can rest assured that however hard you press, the line is going to be the exact same thickness every single time. You also have an eraser button on the side. If you guys want to see individual reviews on this, you can watch the individual reviews on our YouTube channel. But for now, we are just going to go over what these both can do. You can do some zoom elements, so you can tap the circle in which you want to zoom, or you can actually circle an area in which you want to zoom. From here, what you can actually do is choose a very fine line and make some really nice details like that. And why this is advantageous is because even though it doesn't have that pressure sensitivity, once you exit out, you've made some very fine details that would not have been achievable using the pressure sensitivity on the device itself. So that's very nice. You also have area selection. So say you've drawn something very technical like this stick man, you can actually circle it like that. You can cut, copy, or cancel, and once you do cut or whatever respective choice you want to make, you click here, using the pen, tap the location you want to paste, you can paste it, click done. You can actually duplicate your entire page or single elements and move them over to other pages. So that's all very nice as well. On the Fujitsu, you can also initiate split screen, and what it does is it doesn't just show the same thing on both sides, it actually splits the entire device's UI into two separate things. For example, we're going to open up the scheduler now, so we can have the scheduler on this side, we can write away all day long, and still have our note taking on this side. And you can switch panels as well. You can go down here, you can say swap screens, perhaps you're left-handed, whatever the case may be. The Fujitsu scheduler app is also very nice because it's interactable, so not only can you draw over the entire thing, you can actually interact with the individual months, days, weeks, etc. And this doesn't just hold true for two things. You can choose anything. You can choose a PDF and a blank slate. You can choose your textbook and a note-taking application. The sky's the limit for splitting the screen into two parts. Now, in terms of the note-taking experience, that is where it ends. It is very basic, but it's basic for a reason because you know it's distraction-free, it's a great writing experience, and everything's always going to work. Not only that, the Fujitsu and the Sony are the only guys to be able to do this, and it is a press highlight. You can actually highlight over the same thing up to 11 times before it becomes unreadable because of the shades of gray. But this is very nice because you can essentially highlight anything. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to go through every single one of these features because there's just far too many on the Max 3. If you want to see the individual video, go to the youtube.com/goodyreader. We have an individual note-taking video as well as the review. But needless to say, you do have pressure sensitivity, you can do nice hairlines, you can do super thick bleeds, you have a wide array of shapes, colors, pens, pencils, you even have colors as well. You have blue, green, red, white, light gray, medium gray, and everything shows up on the screen respectively. Unfortunately, red, green, and blue don't show up the way you imagine they would. They actually just gray themselves out. When you export it, they will turn red, green, and blue respectively. You do have the lasso tool as well. You can lasso things, you can change the aspect ratio, you can rotate it, you can copy, paste it, etc. This also has an eraser on the back, so once you're ready, you can just erase everything on the screen, and away it goes. You also have AI, or a cursor, which is text recognition. So if I write my name in English right there, and I click AI, I can do original recognition where it will show it exactly where it is, or reflow recognition, in which case it'll throw it to the top left corner. And your entire thing can be dictated via you just writing on the screen. And if you go back, you can select original recognition and it shows up in the very center. From there, you can change the bold, underline, italicize, etc. This thing has tons of different features, grids, text recognition. You can disable the touchscreen, although you wouldn't really want to because this thing has good touch recognition that you can even have 5 fingertips on the screen and still write without any problem. Needless to say, the note-taking experience on the Max 3 is extensive. PDFs on the Onyx Boox MAX are fantastic, and you don't just get the normal clear mode. You can actually go here and select any speed mode you want, speed mode, A2 mode, or X mode. X mode, you can actually watch videos, it's so quick. This makes the device super snappy, pinch and zooms very quick. This is about the fastest refresh we've ever seen on an e-ink device with this big of a screen. This is a 13.3 inch, so for this to perform the way it does on such a gigantic screen is phenomenal. The X mode and speed mode is necessary, I think, in order to get a good experience when it comes to your notes. And with the PDFs, you can go ahead and just start scribbling right away. And they do have a lot of different ways you can change things, including split view, much like the Fujitsu, where you can use the current doc and another document. So for example, we can have our PDF open and a book open at the exact same time, just like the Fujitsu. You have to love and admire the simplicity of the Fujitsu QUADERNO. It only runs PDFs, so whether you have a notebook, a PDF, your scheduler, it's all going to be the same thing. It's all going to work the exact same way, and you have all the abilities that you would get in the note-taking experience on the PDF experience. It's quite nice. The eraser and the pen works perfectly good, and the highlight is fantastic as well. You can highlight any text on any side-loaded content, whether it's in English, Arabic, it doesn't matter. The highlighter works perfectly, and the note-taking is fantastic. And again, you get that same writing feel because basically nothing's changed from the note-taking experience over to the PDF experience. These two devices are both amazing in their own regards. The pros to the Onyx Boox MAX 3 is that it has full pressure sensitivity, it runs apps, games, videos, sky's the limit for that, it has an extensive note-taking app, and it acts as a secondary monitor with nothing but its own battery power. It does have some cons though. It is heavy, there's a lot of distractions, a lot of notifications, it is expensive, and the feel of writing is just a little bit glassy if you compare it to the Fujitsu. The pros of the Fujitsu is that it has the most amazing stylus on the market, it's very secure, NFC unlock, encryption, it's simple, it has the best writing feel, and it's extremely lightweight. However, that simplicity does lead to it being very limiting. It doesn't have apps, it doesn't have audio, it only runs PDFs, but it's great in its own regard, as I just said. If you guys want to see any more on this, go to the individual review videos of both of this on youtube.com/goodyreader, and for a comparison between the Onyx Boox MAX 3 and the Fujitsu A4, this is Peter.